all collectors have in them a desire to share their collection with people.
This desire is reflected at the Kruger Street Toy and Train Museum. Multiple layouts, different types of trains, and a variety of toys takes one down memory lane in this 42,000 square foot former school in Wheeling, West Virginia. Historian and founder's son, Alan Raymond Miller, told us this train adventure started out with Lionel trains running around the Christmas tree.
The layout would get bigger every year. Finally, we talked Mom into moving the tree into the dining room so that we could put a huge layout up in the basement.
Museum founder Alan Robert Miller said there have always been trains in the family.
Even my father during the Depression could not afford, so they made trains out of cheese boxes.
The museum houses multiple layouts in several gauges. This layout is O gauge, the size the Millers started with.
What you see here is a microcosm of the area. There's a little church behind me that existed between West Liberty and Bethany. Now, Marx made a model of that, and that's why it's on the layout. Also, there's other significant items. There's a water tower that I built from a powder can that my mother had, and it's orange. It's up at the end of the layout. Most people don't know that that is over almost 63 years old.
This HO gauge layout was once in someone's basement. Curator James Schulte said they brought it to the museum in pieces.
There were the three main sections that you'll see were part of it, and we added on to about 20 to 30 some feet of it to lengthen everything out, try to make that seamless, and we'd actually cut it into 11 pieces to transport it here when we brought it in.
A lot of things on the layouts are made reflective of how things were done in the early years. For example, the trees.
There's some beautiful manufactured trees on the market today. Some of them cost as much as real trees, which is okay. Some people really enjoy that. We actually make our own trees out of different plants and weeds that we harvest and we put through a process to create a tree.
And for the soil, they use coffee grounds. There are no two items alike on these layouts.
A lot of times what we find, for example, we'll go out and buy a building, a plastic building kit, and we'll modify it. We'll add things to it. You paint it up different ways. You change it. You make it yours. You make it your own so that it doesn't look like that building on everybody else's layout. Cars and trucks and people. Some of the fun is going out and finding this stuff. When we were building layouts early on, I would go into a lot of toy stores and just go up and down the aisles and look and say, okay, I don't care what the package says this is for. What can I use it for?
And to add to the toy-like enjoyment, a train-related amusement park layout is being set up. Walking through the layouts can be a fun experience, especially when it becomes hands-on.
As you turn 360 degrees, you can see the trains all the way around you. It's supposed to be fun. I mean, that's the whole point of it, to watch the trains go by. Kids love seeing them come in and out of the tunnels, or being able to push one of the buttons, and just that little bit of interaction goes a long way.
The Kruger Street Toy and Train Museum has the largest collection of Marx trains on public display in the world. Other trains on display: Lionel, Ives, American Flyer, and the list goes on. Here at the museum, you can take a step back and be a kid again.
They can go through and see, for older people, part of their own childhood. For younger people, maybe they're seeing part of their parents' or grandparents' childhood. A lot of times, too, we have little kids who come here and they see a toy from their generation and their eyes light up and they're amazed because, wow, something I play with is in a museum. Because we have so many different eras, so many different types of toys, so many different genres on display, everyone finds something that not only do they understand it, but it connects on a personal level.